This creamy vegan blueberry cheesecake has a secret ingredient. It boosts protein and fiber without anyone knowing. So we're going to start with our crust for our blueberry dairy-free cheesecake, plant-based, all that goodness. We're going to start with 7 to 8 dates. And I'm just using medjool today because that's what I've got on hand. If your dates are older and they're a little bit tough, then you definitely want to soak them for a little bit. But these are nice and fresh. Just make sure, right, to open them, make sure that there's no pits. There's nothing worse than biting into a date with pits, break your teeth. And this is where our natural sweetness is going to come in to play. And also they have fiber, so it helps slow down the absorption of that sugar. So we're going to start with those 7 to 8 dates, depending on the size of them and how sweet you like your blueberry vegan cheesecake. And then we're going to add old-fashioned oats. Now you want to use old-fashioned oats instead of instant oats, just because your body has to process these, right? When they're instant, they've already been processed. You want to slow down the absorption of the carbs, and so you want those old-fashioned oats. And don't worry about the recipe. I'm going to put it in the description below. And then to the dates and the oats, we're adding pecans. You could add whatever nut you prefer. You could toast these ahead of time, and it really adds a lot of delicious flavor. But I don't have time today, so I'm just going to go with some chopped nuts. So a pinch of salt. And we like to use the best sea salt possible for all of those good minerals. We're just going to pulse that a few times. If it doesn't seem to be making a crust that holds together, then you might want to add just a little bit of water or plant milk or another date to make that stick. So I'm gonna go grab some water and I'll be right back. So I have that little dab of water. You just wanna add a little bit at a time until that crust forms. You can see it's starting to form. We're just gonna add another teaspoon. And maybe one more. And right there's what we want. We want that little crust that holds together. Okay, so you could make this into individual parfait, little mini cheesecakes, which I absolutely love doing for parties or picnics or get-togethers, or you can make one beautiful cheesecake out of this. So I'm just gonna do that today, and we're going to take our springform pan, put the bottom in it, hook it, right? And then we're just going to press that date, pecan, oat, plant-based crust into our bottom. And you want it to go up the side just slightly so that when you take the springform pan off, you still have that little bit of crust that's going to hold that cheesecake together. And it just looks absolutely beautiful. It is a spectacular dessert, and no one's going to know the secret ingredient that you're going to use to make it a high fiber, healthy, plant-based dessert. And when you tell them, if you decide to tell them, they're going to be completely shocked. So that's the fun part. And they're going to ask for the recipe. All right, so we have this pressed in. You kind of want to make sure that it's pretty even. Don't obsess over it, but you don't want to have a huge lump on one side and really thin crust on the other. So just make sure, yep, there we go, that you have your beautiful crust. All right, so we are going to make our blueberry dairy-free cheesecake filling. We're going to start with our cashews. Now you want to make sure that these are raw cashews. You don't want roasted, you don't want salted, you want raw. You want to soak them overnight Or if you forget, like I do all the time, you can just boil them for 5 minutes, or you could just let them sit in some boiling water. But here's the tip. The longer they boil or sit in hot water or overnight, the softer and creamier this dairy-free cheesecake will be. So you want to make sure you soak them or boil them and that they're raw. Love recipes like this? Download my free Genesis 129 starter guide and learn how to get back to eating from the garden. To that, we're going to add our secret ingredient, beans. So we're adding a can of white beans. I've drained them, I've rinsed them, and that's what's going to give this high fiber and delicious creaminess. And it's going to keep you satiated, satisfied for a long time. And it's one of those desserts that you're not going to be able to eat the entire thing because you're going to be so full from fiber. It's amazing. To that, we are adding our blueberries. Now, I've used a combination of fresh and frozen because I didn't have a complete 2 cups either way. So it's not a problem to do that. Use what you have on hand. And if blueberry isn't your thing, you could add whatever fruit you enjoy. To that, we are adding vanilla, of course, and we're adding maple syrup. Now, this is to taste. I'm suggesting 1/3 cup. You could add as little or much as you want, and it's going to be dependent on how sweet your blueberries are, if they're in season, if not. To that, we are adding lemon zest, the zest of 1 lemon. So we're going to add lemon juice. Now, here's the cool thing about lemons, if you didn't know this. The pith, that white area, is where a lot of the nutrients are. So on something like this, you could slice this and then freeze it. And then I like to just put it in a blender with some water and have a really natural lemon juice, and you get all of those great nutrients. So don't throw that lemon away. And I always like to get organic and wash it really well too, so just keep that in mind. Then we are going to blend that. Okay, so scrape down the sides if you need to after turning it off, and then scrape down the sides and run it again until you get that nice, smooth consistency. Look how beautiful that is and delicious. We're going to take our crust and we're going to pour that cheesecake in. And make sure to get every last drop because it is so delicious. Now, if you were doing this in parfait cups, you could do a layer of crust, a layer of cheesecake, a layer of crust. You could add some cocoa whip if you wanted to. You could add fresh fruit, which I'm going to do later to decorate it. And we're just going to spread that out. So we're just going to smooth the top. You want to make sure, just like with the crust, that it's fairly even. You don't have one side a little higher than the other. And the nice thing about this is you can jiggle it to level it. And there you go. We're going to put this into the freezer. Okay, our cheesecake is complete. And I have cut a slice out. Now, I couldn't wait, and neither could my husband, so we've already had a couple of bites, but I'm gonna take a bite for you, and I'm gonna tell you how this delicious cheesecake tastes. Now, remember, we have that date nut crust with oats. We have the blueberry filling that has cashews and our secret ingredient, beans. So it's high in fiber, high in protein, and so delicious. Now I put just a little bit of cocoa whip on top of that. Come on. It doesn't get any better. Everyone is going to love it. It's got a little bit of tang, a little bit of tartness, which is what you want in a cheesecake. So good. Top it with strawberries, cherries, blueberries, and a little cocoa whip, and you got a red, white, and blue dessert for the $2.50. Have a good time.